Um, YouTube, basically today I want to talk about the silent um hindrance that a lot of millennials and Gen Zers, I mean, even people who are not even that old like me, myself, I'm about to be 28 soon in like 11 days. But anyways, I've been noticing inflation, you know. It's one of those things that people don't talk about on YouTube. They say there's no reason for you not to have all these things. Average rent in this country is like $1,000 a month. You know, it's like that's like $1,000 for a studio. It's like $1,200 for a one bedroom. This is average across the country, and you gotta understand there are places like Ohio where you can get a studio for $400 a month. You can get a one bedroom for like $550 a month. So you got places in Mississippi where you can get your own little apartment for $300 a month, your own little studio for $300 a month, and a one bedroom for $450. So with that being said, there are places where the cost of living is still really low. But when you average it with all the places where the cost of living is $1,800, $2,000 a month, like New York, California, um, and just like places like Massachusetts and stuff, where the cost of living is higher, you notice the average is like $1,000 for a studio. So with that being said, it's expensive. The average car costs $4,000 a month. I mean, like a used car, normal used car that works is $4,000 a month. I mean, no, not $4,000 a month, but it's $4,000. And if you get a payment plan, you might be paying them $400 every month for like 3 years. So the interest rate on that 4,800, you end up paying them 13. You end up paying somebody like, let's say, you end up paying $14,400 for a car that was supposed to cost you $4,000 and it's used plus maintenance. So it's hella expensive to live in this country, and you act like people telling you act like it's cheap, and then getting a job. A lot of these jobs are not paying that much money. Mind you, they want you to pay all this much money for this. Amazon's paying $15 an hour. A lot of these jobs aren't even part-time. Some weeks you get 40, 50 hours. The next week you might get 30 hours. You get what I'm saying? It's not stable. So you got to deal with that. You're making 15 an hour after taxes. That's more like 12.50. Then you're getting unstable hours. If you average 30 hours a week, whatever, 30 times 12.50, 360, 50, 30, 15. That's like $385 a week after taxes, or about $400 a week. Times in that times, that's like $20,000 a year. You can't afford to be paying all these bills and making that much money. And then people want to tell you about having all these multiple streams of income. And with that being said, I would say that's right. You should do it, but they act like, if you listen to people on YouTube, they make everything sound super easy to do, and everything like it's just a walk in the park. There's an amount of risk. Most young men do not have the financial capital to absorb losses on businesses. Most dudes are 35 years old or older when they can take a loss, when they can lose 5K in the stock market and be okay. Most dudes are 35 or 40, but a guy my age loses 5 grand in the stock market and they're thinking about jumping off a bridge. And I think that this is the realistic terms that we got to come to, that hey, there are limitations. In time we will become who we need to be. But like on YouTube, people are acting like, well, you're 25 or you should be having all this and that. But they don't look at the inflation, the cost of living. You would have to work like a dog in like a trade job or something like that just to be able to afford, that kind of lifestyle where you can get cars and your own place and all that stuff like that. You literally, when you work like that, you won't have time to be focused on dating or any of these other things, because you working 50, 60 hours a week and they're paying you good money. So it's kind of like we own you now. And then what people gotta understand is it's just frustrating how people on YouTube, they talk to you like, oh, this is easy, like all y'all should be doing this. You know, like I know a lot of people who talk like this, they have good intentions, but they don't understand it. It's more denigrating than somebody who's 24, 25 who doesn't have their car or house or whatever they want to. The average person is not making a lot of money, okay? Average guy is making, who's in his 20s, he's making $12 to $15 an hour across the board. That's what he's making. He's not making all this money. Now, if he goes to trade school, he's going to rack up some debt. He can pay his debt off. He can get a trade job. He can make decent money. But at the same time, everything is going to come with you. A man cannot be dating. There's a lot of things that you can't do. And it's a lot of discipline that you need to have. And I think that YouTube, when people talk about things on YouTube, they basically make everything sound easier than it is in practicality. Like these guys who tell you about getting abs, how it's easy. Getting abs was never easy. It's about not eating that much. It's about eating 1,200 calories a day. It's about doing ab exercises. You got to be exercising 4 or 5 days a week, intensely for at least an hour. But I'm saying it's just not easy. You gotta be drinking water. You can't be you can't be eating carbs and junk food and stuff. It takes discipline. So everything on YouTubers are, to me, it seems like they're charlatans, and they make people think that things are easier to do than they actually are. With that being said, peace, gentlemen.